Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, indeed, a very important song there that about trust. So, we had to cut into that one to bring you the news. It's 6:31 right here on NRP Radio and NRP Media. Thank you. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our station, and we appreciate your times. Now, time for today's news is Friday. A very pleasant morning to you. And once again, we say welcome to our platforms. That's nrpmediaja.com, also Facebook and YouTube at nrpmediaja. It's Friday, February 2, 2024. I am Leon Nash with the NRP Break of Day News. Here are the headlines. The calling of the election by the Andrew Holness-led JLP government was a good day for democracy, says opposition leader. The PNP expresses confidence of winning with the party ahead in the polls. House of Representatives approves the fourth supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024. Persons of interest being sought in connection with the death of Melissa Silvera. Online licensing and registration system for the fisheries sector to be launched on Monday. And in sport, former world indoor champion Dwayne Chambers is set to race in the 60-meter at the UK Indoor Championships at the age of 45. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
NRP Media and Radio.
The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Now for the details of the news. Opposition leader and president of the People's National Party, Mark Golin, says the calling of the election by the Andrew Holness-led JLP government was a good day for democracy. Speaking to the media following a tour of constituencies in St. Mary, Mr. Golin said that the PNP has been waiting for 4 years for the local polls and had to threaten legal action if there was another extension. According to Mr. Goding, the PNP is happy and ready to continue their campaign in order to earn the majority of votes when the ballots are counted on election night.
And I say to all of our supporters, get ready, saddle up, because we're going to show the Jamaica Labour Party government that time comes for a new government. First the local, and then afterwards to the general. Because the people of Jamaica want change. They want integrity in public life. They're tired of the scandals. They're tired of the high cost of living in a government that's going up. They have the people suffering the most, so their lives can be better. They want to see a national party with our tradition of caring for the people and building Jamaica, building institutions that can move the country forward and governing with integrity, which is what I intend.
And Mr. Golding appealed to PNP supporters to go out and vote on election day and to be fair in all they do so as to not bring the institution of the PNP into disrepute. This position was reiterated and reemphasized by the PNP General Secretary, Dayton Campbell.
I say to my supporters, oh my comrades, see the signal waving in the sky. Reinforcement now appearing. Victory is nigh. I want them to go out there and campaign in a friendly manner and to ensure that we bring back the love in this country. We want to reclaim Jamaica for the people. and give back the power to the people.
That was General Secretary of the People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Yesterday, local government minister Desmond McKenzie announced at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James that February 8th would be nomination day and the local government election day would be February 26th. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who gave the charge to the party members prior to the announcement of the election and nomination days, or dates, urged party supporters to mount a vigorous election campaign. He reminded them that they should not be doubtful, but to do all they can to clearly communicate about their plans and programs. The Prime Minister said if the councillors and aspirants fail to properly communicate, it could hurt their chances.
As councillors and councillor caretakers, MPs and MP caretakers, and people who represent, you would not have helped the situation if you didn't bring them to the contextual understanding of the problem. Because if you allow them just to vote on emotion, they will vote in a random way. And that is always a threat to democracy, the randomization of voting choice. To get over this randomization of voting, you have to have consistent and constant information flow about your plans, your successes, your achievements, and all that you're going to do to address the problem. And you must be respectful of the voters' feelings.
That was Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In other news, the House of Representatives yesterday approved the fourth, that should be on Tuesday, approved the fourth supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024, which reflects total government expenditure of $1.092 trillion. The estimates proposes a total expenditure of approximately 1.02, that should be 1.092 trillion, a reduction of $2.5 billion on the approved budget, following the submission and approval of the third supplementary estimates in September 2023. In his address, the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, informed that the supplementary estimates seeks to redirect resources from activities that will not utilize the current allocations to activities that are able to absorb these resources during the rest of the fiscal year. The fiscal year ends on March 31. According to Dr. Clark, the main area of reduction is on the capital side of the budget, with a net reduction of $7.4 billion. He also said that non-debt recurrent expenditure will increase by $1.9 billion and debt service by $3 billion. Detectives assigned to the Major Investigation Division, MID, are seeking the public's assistance in locating a person of interest who they believe can assist them with the investigation surrounding the death of Melissa Silvera, the wife of the former Member of Parliament, Joylan Silvera. The person of interest has been identified as Sashana Miller, that should be Sashana Miller, of a corporate area address. Former parliamentarian Joylan Silvera has been charged with the murder of his wife Melissa after her body was discovered at their Stony Hill home in St. Andrew on November 10 last year, with what were subsequently determined to be gunshot wounds. Mrs. Silvera was previously said to have died in her sleep at home. However, this was proved differently by investigators. Sashana Miller, who is now being sought, is being asked to turn herself in to the MID's office at 230 Spanish Town Road, Kingston 11, or the Criminal Investigation Branch head office at the NCB South Tower, located on Oxford Road in Kingston 5. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Sashana Miller is being asked to contact the MID at 876-758-5048, CIB at 876-922-2380, Crime Stop at 311, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. A team of officers assigned to the St. Mary Police Division seized one firearm during an operation in Jeffreytown, Gale, in the parish on Thursday, February 1. Reports from the Gale Police are that about 1:44 p.m., lawmen were in the area when a premises was searched. During the search, a bag was seen in a room. Upon close examination of the bag, 1.38 revolver special was seen inside the bag. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Investigations continue. And the government is set to launch its long awaited online licensing and registration system for the fisheries sector next Monday, February 5. The new system is expected to reduce the time taken to produce fishing license as well as support the sector's efficient management. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, that should be Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, made the disclosure during a media briefing at the ministry's office in Kingston on Wednesday. Mr. Green, acknowledging the challenges being faced, informed that they should not run afoul of the law. The minister informed that under this project, all the computing and networking equipment critical for establishing the system has been bought, adding that testing is already underway. Currently, the license application and renewal process spans approximately 2 weeks. Some good news now for commuters on the JUTC buses beginning April 1. Commuters who use a smart card to pay their fares on the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC buses will benefit from a 50% reduction in fares. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Darrell Vaz, made the disclosure in the House of Representatives this week. He said that a cabinet note is being prepared for the use of a completely cashless system for the proposed reduction in bus fares effective April 1. In addition to the reduced rates, commuters will also receive the added benefit of 3 free rides, which will apply to both and existing card holders. Mr. Vaz says that the use of the smart cards will ultimately aid efficiency and security on the buses. You are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. The time right now is 6:42.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Chryso Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on NRP Radio. It's the news that we are presenting at this time, and we're pausing now to bring you some sporting information brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
And now for our sports stories, we bowl off on cricket. Ireland made it 4 wins from 4 in their T20 series against Zimbabwe by securing a 9-wicket win in a rain-delayed match in Harare on Thursday. The match was curtailed to 8 overs per side, but when play got underway 2.5 hours later than planned, the hosts made 65 for 5 in their innings. Ireland reached 70 for 1 with 1 ball remaining in their reply. Orla Prendergast hit a 6 of the penultimate ball to secure victory and top score for her side with 27 not out. Club legend Mark Alleyne has returned to Gloucestershire as head coach on a 3-year deal. The 55-year-old featured in nearly 800 matches for the club during a 19-year playing career and previously coached Shire from 2005 to 2007. Alain was Glamorgan's white ball coach last season and also coached the England T20 side on their 2022 tour of the West Indies. Asked how he was feeling, Alain replied, quote, "I'm feeling truly blessed to be given the opportunity," unquote. Alain is Gloucestershire's most decorated player with 9 trophies and a county championship promotion to his name, and he also won 10 one-day international caps for England. Finally, on athletics, former world indoor champion Dwayne Chambers is set to race in the 60 meter at the UK Indoor Championships at the age of 45. Chambers qualified for February's event by running 6.81 seconds at a meet in Lee Valley earlier this year. He was banned for doping in 2004, but returned to the sport in 2006 and won the 60-meter world indoor title in 2010. The qualifying time for the World Indoor Championships, which take place in Glasgow in March, is 6.58 seconds. Chambers, who last ran for Great Britain in 2014, attempted to break into American football twice during this year, during his 2-year doping ban, and again in 2007 before an unsuccessful trial spell at rugby league club Castleford Tigers in 2008. He took gold at the World Indoors in Doha in 2010 and bronze 2 years later in Istanbul. He officially retired in July 2017, but also ran in the British Indoors 60-meter championships in 2019, only to be disqualified for a false start in the semifinals. That's sports in our NRP Break of Day newscast, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Michael Brown. U.S. President Joe Biden is weighing responses to the death of 3 U.S. service members in Jordan Sunday in a drone strike the White House attributed to Iranian-backed militias. The attack has many U.S. lawmakers concerned about increasing U.S. and military involvement in the Middle East following the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. VOA congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson has more.
On Capitol Hill, some Democratic senators are concerned a U.S. response could rapidly escalate a military conflict before lawmakers have a chance to authorize war.
This is an escalating war in the Middle East. The U.S. is getting drawn more and more into it. There's no congressional authorization for the U.S. participation in another war in the Middle East, so the time is probably now right for Congress to begin that discussion.
But lawmakers also recognize the need for a strong U.S. response.
Anyone who attacks the troops and puts Americans in harm's way is going to do everything we can to defend them.
Earlier this week, top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell said the Biden administration's policies had increased the threat posed by Iran. And other Republican lawmakers said Thursday any response should be carefully calibrated.
I'd like to know the president has a plan to not just stop this, but to put Iran in a position they will never do this again.
Catherine Gibson, VOA News.
North Korea on Friday extended a provocative run-in weapons test by firing cruise missiles into the sea as leader Kim Jong-un called for his military to step up war preparations while touring a shipyard. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the U.S. and South Korean militaries were analyzing the North Korean launches into its western sea. Kim in recent months emphasizing his effort to build a nuclear-armed navy to counter what he portrays as growing external threats posed by the U.S., South Korea, and Japan, which have stepped up their military cooperation to cope with Kim's nuclear programs and missile programs. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news from the VOA. Join us again in subsequent newscast when we'll have for you another relay of international news courtesy of the VOA. Now for the weather report and forecast as we continue to present our news right here on this station. And now for the weather report and forecast supplied to us by the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica. The Met Service says that there is a significant feature of a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island through to Sunday afternoon. Thereafter, a prefrontal trough and a low-level jet stream are expected to move into the vicinity of the island. In the 24-hour forecast this morning, becoming cloudy mainly across southern parishes, partly cloudy elsewhere. This afternoon, isolated showers mainly across north central parishes and hilly areas, otherwise mostly cloudy. Tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy. Partly cloudy to cloudy across the island. In terms of a 3-day forecast starting tomorrow, that's Saturday through to Monday. On Saturday, expect partly cloudy conditions to mostly cloudy conditions during the course of the day. On Sunday, it will be partly cloudy during the day, becoming mostly cloudy in the evening, windy evening and night across western parishes and hilly areas. On Monday, it will be cloudy and windy. Expect periods of showers and isolated thunderstorms across the island. In terms of other current regional weather features, there is a ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. In terms of maximum temperature expected for Kingston and Montego Bay today. For Kingston, it's 31 degrees Celsius. For Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius. That's the latest weather report and forecast supplied to us by the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica. We'll have another bulletin for you during the course of today. And with that, we've come to the end of our news presentation for this morning. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. The calling of the election by the Andrew Holness-led JLP government was a good day for democracy, says opposition leader. The PNP expresses confidence of winning with the party ahead in the polls. House of Representatives approves the fourth supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024. Person of interest being sought in connection with the death of Melissa Silvera. Online licensing and registration system for the fisheries sector to be launched on Monday. And in sports, former world indoor champion Dwayne Chambers is set to race in the 60-meter at the UK Indoor Championships at the age of 45. The full half an hour package of news this morning came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Evening News Roundup. On behalf of the entire news and production teams, I am Leon Nash for NRP News. We encourage you to join this growing medium. Feel fulfilled and informed. Remember, we invite you to log on to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA, subscribe, and also share this information. Have a good rest of your morning. Reminding you too that if you walk, ride, or drive, make every effort to arrive alive. Good morning, and thank you once again for being here with us as we present our newscast. It's new. It's the Upper Room at 8 p.m. the newest and most riveting and engaging discussion program on biblical matters. Once again, right here on nrpmediaja.com every Sundays, 8 to 10 p.m. It's all about things you know, things you thought you know, and things you're not truly sure about. nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.